Hi everybody, good afternoon. This is going to be a brief live. Welcome to everybody who is watching the replay, honey. I'm about to put on my greens. Hello everybody. Okay, so in this pot, you all, I have some smoked neck bones. And I have boiled them for a couple of hours. I have poured my water off twice, okay? Now, you don't have to do that, but that's what I did with mine. Because it makes like this foamy water. So, I like to pour that off. So, now I'm going to go ahead and season my water with some of my collard green. Collards and everything green seasoning. I'm going to put some of that in here. Now, I'll be adding more of this throughout, but for right now, I'm going to add just a little bit. I haven't seasoned it with anything yet. So far, all I've added was a little vegetable oil and now my seasoning. I'm going to add in some onion. And I have my red bell pepper. Gosh, that smells so good. And these are some fresh collards that I take the stem out and then I shred them myself. So, and I do clean mine, but I just do not do that process online. It just cuts back on things for people to talk about, child. Because they just love to find stuff to talk about. So I'm going to start adding these in. And I love mustard greens too. And my collards. But I had so many collards. I said, no, this was 4 bunches. I got 4 bunches from Piggly Wiggly for $3. 4 bunches. And they were nice bunches. So I decided not to buy more greens. We'll just eat these collards. And that'll be good. But I do like to mix my greens. Sometimes I do cabbage and collards. I don't always do that. But sometimes I do. So do you all like greens? I know everybody doesn't. But I love all of them. Mustard, turnip. The turnip's okay. I don't care for the turnip. But the collards and the mustards and the spinach, yes. That is such a great combination. So today, if you didn't see my post, I bought some ribeye steak. So I'm going to cook that. And then make a gravy and smother that steak. And that gravy with some fresh onion and fresh mushroom. Make a nice gravy. And then make some rice. Hold on, you all. Make some rice, especially for me, even if the kids don't eat any, because I'm telling you, tomorrow we start actually midnight. Midnight is the time, the cutoff time today for certain foods for me for the challenge. So I'm gonna have me some rice tonight. And oh, thank you, Yolanda. Yeah, I shredded them up, honey. So I definitely want some greens, but I want some rice and gravy. I haven't had rice and gravy in a while because, I didn't have any of the egg foo young when I made it. So I'm going to have rice and gravy today. And that'll hold me over until after the challenge. And if you're just coming on, I put some red bell pepper, some red onion, some yellow onion into my pot. And those are smoked neck bones. These are fresh collards that I shred up. I like to take the stem out and shred them up. So that's what I did. And now I'm gonna let these cook. And my green seasoning. I'm gonna add some of that, a little more of that. And I'm gonna add some black pepper. I add vegetable oil. I am gonna use some of my adobo. But if I didn't have my adobo, I'll just use my granulated onion and garlic. So sometimes I add a little seasoning. So I use those if I don't have my adobo. All purpose. But since I have some, I'm gonna use that. And I may do a little bit, like I said, of my my seasoning. So now I'm gonna cover these and let them cook for a little while. I'm gonna turn it down. Once it comes to a boil, I'll turn it down. And before I hop off, I'll look at your comments. I'll come back and show you all the greens, of course, when they're done. The steak, I don't like my steak to cook a long time. I'm not gonna let it cook in the gravy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pan cook my steaks like I would do if I was just gonna serve them, you know, by themselves. So you just cook them to how you like yours. Well, medium, however you like it. And then I'm gonna make that gravy and then I'm gonna serve it like that. So I'm gonna make sure the steaks are done to the way the kids like them. And then smother it in the gravy and serve it right away. So that you don't have an overdone, you know, tough steak. Gail, I don't show how much oil I put because I use a lot of oil. Not a whole lot, but I probably use more than somebody else would like. So you just want to put how much oil you want in your greens. Because even after I drain mine, like I cook them until they're like a little past al dente, then I drain that juice off and I add a little more oil. So some people may not want theirs like that, but they're really good. So some stuff I just don't show. Hey Brenda, how you doing, dear? Thank you, Desiree. Miss Scott says she like hers well done. Yeah, I don't like a well done steak. So you gotta make it the way you like it. But these are gonna be some very good greens. I'm gonna add a little bit more seasoning right now before I get off with you all. Hey, Miss Lampkin from, you say Dubuque? What's Dubuque? Let me think. Hold on, don't tell me yet. Louisiana? Miss Joyce said never tried collards. They're good. Now, they do have their own taste. So I do understand if someone doesn't like collards, but I like them. I grew up eating collard greens. So I think some stuff too, when you grow up eating it, it's a little different. But I like green. I love vegetables. Like, I love vegetables. I do. That's something I know I can eat every day. So I love me a good leafy vegetables. Leafy. I'm not big on like corn and stuff, but like green leafy stuff. Spinach, greens, green beans, zucchini, stuff like that. I love. Salads. Oh my God. I could live off that every day. All right, I'm gonna look at your comments and then I'm gonna hop off. Let me show y'all these steaks. These are the ribeyes that I got. So I like that they're small. They are the boneless ribeye. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 steaks for $21.56. So we like them kind of small. So that's gonna be perfect. Right up our alley. So I was able to pick those up this morning. They were the only small ones they had. All the rest were really big. So I grabbed these. And I'm going to tell you, the other ones that were really big, they were like the same price. But they were so fat and bulky. And I don't really like really big meat. So even though it probably was more meat for your buck, I preferred the smaller ones. Miss Scott says she loves greens and spinach. Linda, it doesn't take long. I was sitting here watching my TV. You see my TV is still on. I was watching a movie that I recorded on demand, and honey, and picked them greens, picked those stems out, and just shredded them. It was 5 bunches. It was 5 bunches. And they're really cheap. So if you live near a Piggly Wiggly, I know the area that I'm in the South, so it's a lot of farmland around us. So I'm sure a lot of farmers sell their products to like Piggly Wiggly and Winn-Dixie and stuff like that. So you can get a lot of produce for cheap around here. At least I do. All the stuff that I eat is cheap. Spinach, broccoli, zucchini, onions, potatoes, tomatoes. That stuff be so cheap around here. It really, really does. But I believe it's because of the farmers. I think they just sell it to the grocery stores. Definitely the collard greens, the cabbages. This stuff is so cheap. And I'm so grateful because I love it. Yeah, it was either 4 or 5 bunches. I can't remember. It was 4 or 5. Whatever I said when I first came on, I thought it was 3. But I know it was definitely 4 or 5 for sure. Because I remember I only paid $3 for it. And I was like, wow, I got all this for $3. So, Evelyn said, I love greens. I'm so happy that you were giving out information about greens. Oh, thank you, Evelyn. I do too. I love greens all my life. When I was a kid, my grandmother and my dad used to tell me that if I ate my spinach, you know, I'd be strong like Popeye. So that's really where it started. So even though it wasn't true, you know, that's how I started loving spinach. And I absolutely love it. I love spinach. Sophia says she likes her fresh collards with smoked turkey. I got some smoked neck bone in there. I got smoked turkey though in my refrigerator. But, I mean, my freezer. I just chose to do my smoked neck bone. All right, now that it's coming to a boil, let me turn it down some, y'all. I'm going to turn it down to like a medium. And see with the top on that medium, it's still going to boil. Let me go back. Let me go to a number 4. I'm going to go to a medium low. Because when I had the meat just cooking on a medium, it was boiling. I had the top on. It was boiling. So, I don't want it to boil over. But I'm going to cover mine, so I want it to boil and not boil over. Somebody said, no, those are red peppers. Yeah, those are red bell pepper. No, not carrots. I wish you had a Piggly Wiggly too, Miss Price. Lynn just got her some fresh spinach. I do too, Miss Iris. That's why I do the spring mix, because it has spinach in it. Stewed tomatoes are so good in greens. Okay, Miss Crystal. Since I'm making this for everybody, I'm not going to put none in this time, but I love stewed tomatoes. And y'all know I still got a little bit of that leftover chili. So I told my oldest daughter she better come on over today and get whatever she want. Okay? Because I don't like keeping things longer than a day or two now. Y'all got to come get it. You got to come pick it up or you better eat it. My kids know how I am. And we can get the rest out. I'm going to go drop it off to the, this lady. She feeds the, you all know the homeless I was feeding. Now I just donate instead of going down there by myself. Because being by myself is just not good to go down there with all those people. And so now we just give it to them. Love greens. Lynn said that's me. Okay, so I'll come back. These are going to take a little bit to cook. Now, I don't cook mine a real long time. That's why they're shredded small. I don't like my greens real big and leafy. So, when they're shredded this small, it cuts your cooking time down as well. So, I cook them at this particular, as you see them cooking now, that's how I like them to cook. I don't need them to boil any more than that, and I don't need them to calm down anymore. So, I'm on a number 4. So I'm going to cover it, let them cook, and then when they're done, I'll come back and show you all. And I'm going to make our steaks and make the rice. You want some greens? Wait till they done, Marcia. They ain't done yet. Wait till you see them done. And y'all know it's smelling good. I got the window open, so it's really smelling good. I love them too. Sometimes I cook mine in the oven too, Corliss. You can cook anything in the oven. I think people be so surprised by that. No, I make baked rice sometimes. I bake anything. Anything I want to bake, I bake it. I bake beans sometimes, like regular beans. I bake my rice. I bake, you could bake definitely your greens, your cabbages. I have recipes for all of that. You've never cooked cabbage, Miss Trisha? Oh yeah, you got to try it. Me too, Regina. All right, so I'll be back to show y'all the finished product on this, and I'll let you know the time. So I wanted to show you all. So when I first came on, I had been boiling my neck bones, my smoked neck bones, for 2 hours. I did that while I was just picking my greens and all that stuff, just getting it ready. I poured the water off twice. So by the time I came live, that was the third batch of water. because it makes this really white foamy stuff if you don't pour the water off. Those that cook it know what I'm talking about with that smoked meat. So then we added in, I added in the oil before I came on. I'll add a little more at some point. I use vegetable oil in my greens. I added in some seasonings. I like to use, this is my basic seasoning for my collard greens. But like the one, you can get the one from the dollar store. What is it, you all? It's the same thing. All these green seasonings pretty much have the same stuff in them, to be honest. It's also called a green seasoning. You can get it at the Dollar Tree for like $1.25, but it's just a smaller portion. It's pretty much the same thing. They all do the same thing. This is another one that I get from Piggly Wiggly. As you can see, it looks exactly the same as the other one. So they all pretty much have the same ingredients. They just want you to buy their brand. So I just prefer the Gillies. So I add that as my main seasoning. I added a little Goya adobo, which has my onion and garlic in it, which I'll add a little bit more of that at some point. And I added in a little bit of black pepper. And again, once I taste it, after a little bit, we may or may not add more black pepper. You don't want your stuff to be spicy. And then that's pretty much it, because that green seasoning has the base flavor along with my smoked meat to give my greens and the onions and the peppers to give it the taste that I want. Somebody saying, how are they with stewed tomatoes? I don't know. I don't add stewed tomatoes. So whoever said that about the stewed tomatoes with your greens, if you can answer that question, I personally do not put stewed tomato in my greens. Somebody said they buy Badia green seasoning. Absolutely. They're pretty much all similar. Now, I don't know about Badia because their ingredients are a little different. So I don't know if they particularly will taste the same. I'm ready for tomorrow, Miss Iris, too. Remember, midnight. If you're doing the weight loss challenge, you need to start at midnight. At midnight. They have it too, Trisha, at Walmart. The same one at Walmart, Trisha. So please, if you can, whatever time zone you on, after midnight, okay, whatever you're doing for the challenge, you want to start then, okay? That's all I'm going to say, honey. And I will see you all bright and early in the morning for our devotion at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes, Denise, I'll fry my collard greens first. It actually cuts back on your cooking time. You can fry your greens and then put them in the pot, and it won't take as long to cook them. So that's the way I've done mine. I don't do just fried greens and just like fried greens where they're tough. I do mine where I fry them first and then I put them in the pot and cook them, and they don't take as long to cook. Thank you, Miss Thicklin. Yes, of course you can, Marie. This is a public page. You can share anytime you like. Miss Stewart is red bell pepper. That's bell pepper in my green. Can you see it? That's red bell pepper. I just put it in so everything's still fresh and everything. So I'm about to cover it and let it cook. And that's smoked neck bone. So that's been cooking for a little bit. So by the time my greens are actually done, it'll be good. But those are red bell peppers, red onion, and white onion. Yellow onion, excuse me, yellow onion. That's what's in there. Hey, Patricia. Thank you, Miss Scott. Okay. So I'll be back and I'll show you all the finished product. And I may do a video for the steaks. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But the steaks are definitely, I'm about to take them out. I like mine to be room temperature. Y'all know I don't cook no cold meat. So I'm gonna let it be, get room temperature. I'm gonna season them up real good. I'm gonna pan cook them and make an onion and mushroom gravy. But I gotta go ahead and make my rice. And that's what I'm having for my meal before we start the challenge tomorrow. Thank you, Diane. Thank you all for liking and sharing. Thanks for hopping on. Thank you for the stars. And I will see some of you all in a little bit. Enjoy the rest of your day. You said cabbie was supposed to be cabbage. I got you, Trisha. Thanks, dear. Thanks for sharing, Miss Sharon.